And if you will, right now I have few students live here, and if they will give me a response, then that their response would be a feedback that for me that this entire communication channel, entire communication process is complete. So this diagram is actually explaining it. Now see, you all are very intelligent people. You all have understood what what I wanted to explain with the help of this diagram. Don't you? Huh? All of you are getting it? Okay. Now see, just imagine if I am replacing this audience for a minute and class 1 students are here to understand this diagram. क्या मैं उनको इतनी आसानी से समझा लेता? Huh? With the same word, I could have managed it? No, obviously no. It means this element or this cycle, this circle is also not complete. Here, the level and sync of the sender and receiver is also very important. So this explains about it. Now next slide, please. आगे. Now see, this slide is explaining something. This is a gatekeeping theory of mass media. And I think this must work at every level in the administration. This diagram speaks a volume about it, which says that not everything should go in public. It should go to those who can think, act, and react responsibly. This diagram says everybody do not deserve to know every information. So it's a responsibility of the sender. It's a responsibility of the communicator to plan, to send out the message as per the taste, as per the audience. So in media, this theory is very much applied, but I think this should be a very important thing, and everybody should know about it. Now the next slide will speak about a very simple forms of communication. There are three important forms you can see in this slide. Intrapersonal communication is a communication when we get engaged with ourselves. Interpersonal communication is a communication when we talk with our peers. And right now what we are doing a good communication to achieve at some, a shared goal, to achieve a certain target. We are communicating, we are doing group communication. And the next slide will speak about a tricky form of communication that is called mass communication. Why I am saying this tricky form of communication? Because in this form of communication, sender and receivers are not present. They are not knowing each other. In other three forms of communication, if you will commit any mistake, there would be a chance to correct it. You can interact it, but here that chance will not be given. So here, a huge accuracy is required. So that is why I call this communication. tricky form of communication. Next slide, it says that to whom you are communicating with, no matter with whom you are communicating, you can communicate with your seniors, you can communicate with your juniors, you can communicate with some authorities, you can communicate verbally, you can communicate non-verbally, no matter. If you will ensure all these C's, which is very much visible on your screen, if you will ensure that in your communication all these C's are available, in that case there would be a less chance of miscommunication, misinterpretation of your message. So as a communicator, if you will ensure that whatever you are communicating, the message you are sending in public is correct, it's complete, it is concrete, it is concise, it is courteous, it is clear, in that case, your communication, your message would not be misinterpreted. Next slide. Skip it. The same thing. Next. Now see, this is an acronym, and it is very important for any form of communication, and everywhere it is being applied. This acronym is called SRIF, which means strongest relevant influential factor. Everybody applies it everywhere, whether it is advertising, whether it is public relation, whether it is public speeches. This is applied, and this gives you a very good result. This theory simply says that whenever a communication starts, it forms two circles. The first circle is your field of experience. The another circle is your frame of reference. Now try to understand what is field of experience and what is frame of reference. Up till now, since our childhood, what we are doing, we are interacting with our, so we are gaining some experience. We are accumulating some experience, and which is stored here in our cognitive faculty. And whenever we hear about anything, we search our cognitive faculty. If the similar thing matches, if we know, if our brain gives us the reference, then in that case, we will understand communication. And if our brain will not respond, in that case, we will not, get what actually is a communication. Communication would be failed. So, field of experience and frame of reference is very important aspect, which simply says that always try to understand the audience. Try to speak, try to deliver the message as per the reference point of your audience. Are you getting my point? Some of you may have, for example, some of you may have experienced electric shock. There is a pen available wherein you will, on the pen you will feel shock. So everybody, it is not necessary that everybody has a similar reference point. Some may have severe reference point, some may have mild reference point. So all this acronym says always try to understand your audience first, and accordingly prepare your message. It is very much applied in advertising. Now let me tell you one very good example of it. There is a costliest brand, world's costliest brand is Coke. So Coke decided to launch a small bottle. costing ₹5. And by very aggressive campaign, they pushed that lot into the market. And their idea was to, place that bottle, that product in a very aggressive manner so that it may become a synonym of cold drink. So they prepared a punch line for that advertisement in Hindi. Thanda matlab Coca-Cola. Thanda matlab Coca-Cola means if you are thinking of cold drink, it means Coca-Cola. And this synonym, this punch line became hit. So that remained very hit. Now, after a few days, they decided to launch the same product into the market of Punjab. So they conducted a study and people suggested them that this is a very aggressive campaign. You can go with a similar advertisement, but they replaced the advertisement and they prepared a new punchline for new advertisement that was Yara da Tashan. That advertising was shot on Amir Khan. So that punchline was Yara da Tashan. Why this change? Only because people must relate to it. And they can understand easily because they are in their language. And that is why today government is advocating that education in the mother tongue would bring good results. So this theory is very important, and all of you must have heard many great speakers, many good mass communicators, and you must have find that whether that person whosoever is speaking is from that area or not, is knowing that language is not, but that person is using first two lines of his speech in a Kannada, in a Malayalam, wherever he is going. In that case, why they are doing so? So that the crowd must relate with it. Crowd, he must touch the reference point of the crowd. So this is very important as a communicator, as a mass communicator. We must keep this in mind that whenever we got an opportunity to interact with people, we first at the first time we must do some research. We must understand with whom we are going to speak, what is their likes, dislikes, what is their demographic profile, what is their aspiration, what is their inspirations, and accordingly, if you will plan your message, accordingly, if you will, prepare your speech, obviously that would attract. Is it clear, Serif? Huh? Now, next slide, please. So now we have come on our next segment. What is media? Probably all of you may have idea. If the question we will ask a question, what is media? Most of you will define it. I know that everybody knows it, media. We are living in an age wherein our exposure level is very high, and all of us have, a gadget called mobile with us, and at any point of time, you can access to any information. So here we need to break some myth today. When we generally speak about what is media, then the image comes into mind is what? Newspaper, radio, television, internet. But have you ever asked whether media is limited to all these platforms or it is something much beyond this? Today, we are living in a transition phase. Today, every day, a new form of media is coming. If you will refer books, if you will refer some text, books will tell you that media is anything which can inform, entertain, and educate the masses. Hmm? Now I am taking this piece of paper and I am drawing on it an arrow and writing it room number 111 here and placing it outside. Don't you think this paper is informing? If all of you do not know where to go, if I am coming, I saw that these are students are confused. So I showed you a path that this way, go to this way. Don't you think that I informed you? Hmm? So what media is doing, according to the text, anything which can educate, inform, or entertain, that I can also do. Then what is the difference between me and media? In that case, you won't find that the definition is appropriate. Here we need to ponder upon the thing. Then in that case, what is media? For me, anything on this earth surface, whether it is living or non-living, they have a potential to become a media. Anything. They have a become a media. For example, let me give you some examples. Family Welfare Planning Department of India wanted to sensitize a common people about population explosion, the menace of population explosion. And they wanted that people should become responsible and they must think about reducing the population. They must think about the population explosion. So they set a narrative, and with the help of all the form of available mass media, they debated over it. Many experts were, they presented their opinion about it. And by doing so, they set this issue as a narrative within the people. And to sensitize them, they prepared a slogan in Hindi that was "Hum do hamare do." "Hum do hamare do" was a very popular slogan, and it was sent to Indian household with the help of gas cylinder. So what they did, they selected the gas cylinder as a media, and they wrote a slogan "Hum do hamare do," and they printed image of four people, and they send the cylinder. No household, household can't have a very good, very big television. Every household can't have very costly form of media, but they can't ignore gas cylinder. That is very necessary thing. So they pushed that important line, "Hum do hamare do," with the help of cylinder. That is why I just said that everything over this earth surface, whether it is living or non-living, they all have become, they all have a potential to, act like a media. In that case, if this case is right, in that case, what is media? You will find the answer today. You are also a media, I am also a media. And let me tell you, by this idea, think like that. You are a media and you are surrounded by many mediums. If you will buy this idea, your public behavior, your public act will be controlled. You will always feel that you are under surveillance and somebody is watching you. Because you know well that media creates perception. It creates perception. Any teacher any participant uh, yeah, who are attending this, they can experiment. They just do one thing every day after entering into the class. They start shouting at the student and keep this tradition continue for 10 days. Feedback from those students, and they can see what perception their students have developed about me, developed about this personality. So media is actually not just a platforms like newspaper, radio, television, and other. Today we are living in a transition age. Every day we are witnessing a new form of media or anything which may have a potential to act media. So that is why I will stress upon the fact that today everybody is media. We are surrounded by media. You can see these. There are some, professions are mentioned like journalism, entertainment, infotainment, market, networking, communication, event, public relation. If you will combine all these for a single umbrella term is media, but as I told you that we are not in a normal age. Every day a new form of media is coming up. Next slide, please. See why I am telling you this response. I will not go in detail whether media is doing their responsibility or not. Why I am telling all of us about the responsibility of media, that I will speak, that I'll inform you later. As I told you that you are also media and you are surrounded by media. And there are platforms which are not only providing you the freedom, you can do anything on that platform. So whosoever are not having a basic understanding of responsibility of media, they must be misusing that kind of free space. That kept this slide that each one of us must know what should be the responsibility. To maintain privacy in government, revealing the truth in the most acceptable form without creating agitations, help people in nourishing their rights. There are many people who don't know about their human rights, that their basic rights. And if they are not knowing, then obviously whosoever is practicing media, they must help those. They must tell them about their basic rights. Expose and challenge both the consensus of government, people, debate, encouragement and criticism to dig out the loopholes and work out on the same, build a sense of patriotism within the citizens who could work for the betterment of the nation without any fear of politicians and find a way for the press. These are few responsibility of media, and as I told you, everybody is today acting like media, so these responsibility must be known to everybody. Now, I am not very interested into these slide, and I will not go in debate whether media is, respecting this their responsibility. They are doing this responsibility or not. I am interested into next slide. Next slide, please. Now, see, this slide is very important. These are some current trends. And these trends are speaking a volume about today's era. And we are continuously ignoring it. Continuously, we are ignoring it. If you will dissect these trends, you will find many important facts. Like, for example, the first fact is rise of varied social media platforms. Do you think this statement is saying something about this? It is telling us that now audience are not passive enough. It is telling us that now audience is not available for any speaker anytime. It is speaking loudly that though teachers who are, thinking that today they will deliver their lecture and they will finish their syllabus, this line is saying to the teacher that students who are sitting there, they are not interested to listen. Rather, they are expecting their participatory role. So, as a teacher, if we will plan our lecture in a manner so that a student should feel, after attending the lecture, if the student should feel if they have participated into some interesting thing and they have learned something. So this is a very important trend, and it is continuously speaking this aspect that don't take your audience granted. Okay, I am a teacher, so I can deliver any lecture to any student. I can deliver, but that will not leave that kind of impact, because the audience is not interested into listening. They want to say, and these platforms have given them a chance to speak. That is why these platforms are rising. It means the passive audience, we have shifted from media content consumer to media content creator. The paradigm has shifted. They shift from content consumer to content creator. So that is why this trend is very important. Always keep in mind that to whom whosoever want to speak, going to speak, they are not expecting you, or they are not just, available to you to listen. Rather, they would love to participate. They would like to participate. So this trend that is why very important. The next trend, you can see videos continues to be an important trend. Recently, we have seen during Corona, many educational institutions, they struggled a lot, but with the help of video, with the help of ICT, information and communication technologies, they continued their education. They continued their classroom. So video played a very important role during this pandemic. But at what cost? At what cost? At the cost of your reading ability. I have a small kid. Complain him about that you are not reading. I haven't seen you studying. He says that you do your work. I'll, watch everything and learn, watch Byju's and learn everything. He can learn. But if you will study, that will create a great recall value into your mind. If you won't study, the recall value will be less. Can you name 2 days back which video you watched? You won't. But if you have studied some good book and you like that book, you can name the book. You can, recall the lines which you found very interesting. So that has a high recall ability. So this trend is also very important, and this is a high time wherein we need to ponder upon, we need to think that what could be that at least our future generation must not lose their reading ability. Video is fine, but it is costing our reading ability. So this is very, very important point, important trend today which we are witnessing. The third is growth of influencer and micro and nano influencer. For any problem, what we are doing today, we are not taking a straight path. There is a line, very famous line in English, that walk straight even if your shadow look crooked. It means take a right path, take one path. Don't get deviated. So today what we are doing, for any problem, we are expecting that these influencers may help you. If somebody is witnessing that their hair are falling, they are not going to dermatologist or a specialist, and they are watching a reel wherein somebody is telling this is Adivasi oil, and if you will use it, your hair will remain intact. You won't lose hair. If somebody is, have gained some weight, what they are doing, they are not running into the field, and they are watching a reel wherein somebody is telling you, I will tell you 5 exercises, झुक जाओ, ये हाथ उठा लो, ये पैर उठा लो, ऐसे घूम जाओ. It means this trend is also saying something. We have lost a self-confidence, and we are not taking a right decision. We are not taking a right path. And these, useless reels and other things are actually deviating us. So this need to be addressed right now. And the last, wherein I want you all should think about it, is all of you are social media users, And all of you must be knowing about what is organic and what is inorganic reach. If your reach is inorganic, in that case, you have to pay. So what this trend is saying, whether we have something special or not, but we want to look our social profile special one. And for that, these social media companies are charging some amount and they are increasing their likes. And so these are some trends wherein I think all of us, as a researcher, as a uh, as a thinker, as a student, we must think about, and we must think seriously that how whether we can develop some mechanism to save ourselves and our future generation with a grave or not. This is a high time where we must think about it. Next slide, please. मीडिया प्लानिंग चाहिए सीधे आगे आगे नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट आगे आगे हाँ बस यही okay. So now we are into our third segment, and here we will try to understand that if you will be delegated with the responsibility to handle the social media of your institution, to handle the to cater the communication need of your institution, in that case, this will help you. Now, what is the role of media planner? You must understand it. It may include analyzing target audiences, keeping an eye on media development, reading market trends, understanding the consumer. Analyzing target audiences means who all are your stakeholders. Like you are somebody representing some college which is located somewhere near Guwahati or Silchar. Who are their target audience? Their stakeholders are their target audience. Their students are their target audience, and students' family is their other extended stakeholders. They are their target audience. So always try to analyze. So when educational institution will analyze the target audience and or target audience is a student, then what they will analyze? They will analyze what are the aspirations, what are the inspiration score, why they are looking for uh, some some institution, what kind of training they are requiring, what kind of no employability must be added in the course so that a student can get attracted and they take admission in that case. So when we analyze, we do the audience research, and the data is collected through the audience research is very important. You must have, all of you must have filled, you all of have feel that so if you have gone to any institution for admission or anything, they collect, they They provide you many forms and they expect you that you will provide all the details. These are a kind of data they are accumulating, and they get it uh, accumulated, and they study about it. Hmm? So these are the roles of planner. They always with audience. They always keep an eye over media developments. They also, reading market trends, and they continuously they conduct some consumer research so that they can understand their consumer, understand their stakeholders. Only then they would be able to plan. Hmm? Now, next is what is media planning? You can see the slide which says that the process of deciding how to most effectively. When I am saying most effectively, it means what? It means not simply. Means most effective means what? Most effective means something out of the box, something unusual, something unusual. हाँ, किसी ने वैसा सोचा ही नहीं होगा, किसी ने वैसा सोचा ही नहीं होगा. So the process of deciding how to most effectively planning a message, selecting a channel, selecting a target group, and feedback. If you will plan the media, you have to think about it most effectively. I can give you one example of most effective. See, in Delhi, Times of India group, they launched a campaign called Each One Teach One. And that campaign was very hit campaign. The idea was to sensitize homemakers who are not actually working, but they are staying at their home. And the idea was to sensitize them so that they must spare at least 1 hour and teach the kids of the service provider of that resident welfare association. Who are the service provider? Press wala, milkman, sabji wala, sweepers, safai karamchari. They were the service provider. So if the idea was every literate homemaker, if they will spare 1 hour and teach them, their life will become different. So how to reach out to the target audience? So there are many ways. There are many ways. They are a big group. They can do anything. They can invest money on advertisement. They can select the, media. They can place the hoardings. But anything must have some cost. Who will bear it? So what idea they developed? They placed newspapers. They placed the newspapers and said to the press wala that while delivering the pressed clothes, wrap the clothes into this newspaper and write over it that, Madam, when you will be able to start teaching my kid? and send your kid to deliver it. Just try to understand the emotional appeal of this advertisement, that somebody is knocking your doorbell is ringing, and when you are opening it, a small kid is standing with a packet, and you are receiving it at that time. That message is delivering when your stakeholder is in front of you. So when I am saying the process of deciding how to most effectively, it means not simply. It means some unusual thing. No one would guess it. Is it clear? Now the next slide. Now why media planning? Why media planning? Here we need to understand why institutions and any other individual even, why they need media planning. So you can see the points which are written here. To reach up to the right audience. Many a times we won't understand who are the right audience. Like for example, in case of schools, who is the right audience for a school? Student or parents? Students. Can you rethink about it? Students, do they have a purchase capacity? Huh? Who will decide that, okay, my son will study in this school? That is why I requested all of you to rethink about this decision. So many a times when we start our, effort, we don't know who is the right audience. This is also very important. With right message should be right. Message ka right hona is very important. Otherwise, it would create disturbance. Otherwise, it would create decision. Third point is at right time. Right time hone ke liye. Media planning is very important. Recently, what we have seen in the case of Kisan Bill, that despite the bill was cleared from both the houses, government was not able to pass it, and people rejected it, and government had to take a U-turn because the time was not right. With a minimum cost, you can spend crores and crores of rupees and you can get a result. But if you want to cut the cost, you need to plan. When I am saying minimum cost, let me give you one example. All of you must have heard about a brand called Oppo. It is a very popular brand. It claimed that this brand is, this Oppo is launching world's best camera. So they contacted here with advertising agencies, and whatever the advertising solutions the agencies provided them, they calculated it and they said that if we will agree to the proposals sent by advertising agency, the cost will increase because India is not a small country. India has a very different ethnic groups and they are spread over a huge geography. So they dropped the idea to advertise, and they met with some communication planners. After few meetings, communication planners they charged their fees from the company, and they said that we will launch it. So once they signed the agreement, do you know how they launched it? They mailed, they wrote a mail to Guinness Book of World Record, and they said that we are going to break the largest selfie record. So send your representative to validate. And in Delhi, there is a mall called Select City Mall. They organize a event, and they broke the world's largest selfie record. And next day, that product was launched not in the form of advertisement, but in the form of use. So if we will plan, we can reduce the cost. We can reduce the cost, and for a country like India, where there is always a dearth of funds, your small planning will save huge money. Next is to save the message from distortion. Sometimes message itself gets distorted. It's a basic character of message. It distorts. If somebody, you must have played a very famous game in your childhood called Chinese whisper, wherein one has to say something into the ear of other, and they passed it on. So when the message will get passed, that message will be distort. I can I can give you one example. I was there at Jim Corbett National Park, and if you will visit there, you will find there are lot many people who are driving in a safari, and they claim that only they know that where tiger resides, and only they will help you that they will show you where he resides, and you will have a glance. So I visited there. So one driver I found very promising, very convincing. I said, "Ki pakka dikha doge na?" He said, "Yes, yes, come with me." So I entered into that forest. He showed me a symbol of lions, the paw, food. Huh? After few meters, he said that this is the area where lions take rest. After few meters, he said that see, this is the area where lion drinks. After few meters, he showed me that you can see the mark on the tree. Lion has made it cut signal to other lion that this is my area. Nobody can enter. So he showed me many things. Even the excreta of lion. But he didn't show me lion. I was very disappointed. So I returned back. When I was returning back to my home place, suddenly I heard a sound. I also rushed there. I found that somebody was telling that it is very quite near. There was a lawn wherein python has eaten cheetah. So I thought this would be a very, interesting thing. I must see it. So I visited that area, that lawn. I saw there was a python and he has swollen something. But that cannot be a cheetah because the size was this much. So I inquired about it. In Hindi, a kid of Hiran is called Cheetal. So that python that have fallen Cheetal, and after getting distortion, what when this message was shared with many people, that Cheetal became cheetah, and the irony was that next day in newspaper the same thing was reported: a python have eaten cheetah. So message distorts itself. Hmm? Sometimes media becomes biased. So to avoid any kind of biasness, you need a planning and to provide enough publicity of your effort. Hmm. Individually or institution wise, when you are doing your effort, when you are establishing a culture of uh, best practices and innovation, that must be publicized properly, and for that you need planning. Now, how to plan? To plan anything, you need to conduct research. Only research can provide you good data, a deep understanding, a deep insight of the area where for which you are planning. Now, uh, let me give you one example. If you won't research, what would happen? I was working somewhere at Chhattisgarh, and that project was on child rights. While visiting that area, I I was at Jaspur, and I was interacting with district administration. So I have been told that district administration has decided to utilize the fund under Hilly Area Development Program to save the tribes which are residing there in the hills from dengue. So they decided to distribute machhardani, mosquito net, to those people. And they distributed mosquito kit, mosquito net to them. And after a few days back, when we visited the site, we saw all those mosquito net were used to catch fish. When it was inquired, they told that they don't need mosquito net. Mosquito is not their problem. They have many things which can act as a repellent. Mosquito is not problem. If at the district administration level, if somebody would have conducted a research, the same money which was used for mosquito, that was maybe that may get diverted to some useful thing. Are you getting my point? So research is very important point of this plan. Getting a psychographic profile of target group, likes, their dislikes, their aspiration, their inspirations. Then the creative work, Then the message design, in the right media selection, pulsing and frequency of the message, assessment, feedback collection, and redo for the rest of audience. These are the steps to which you can plan. If you will follow this, you will plan a very good message and you will decide about everything, not only about the creative work, but you will decide about the media timings, you will decide about the media, you will even decide about the timing, how many times your audience must get exposed with that message. So these are few very important points which will help you when you will plan anything for your institution or if you will plan anything individually. Next, ma'am. These are some steps wherein you need to plan. Setting an objective is very important. If you won't set the objective, sometimes there would be a chance of getting you diverted. So always set the objective, always try to start with set objective and don't get derived by anything. Then the target audience, knowing the target audience is very important. What are their liking, disliking, what is their demography, and what is their expectation from you is very important. Then the media strategy, what kind of media you will opt to reach out to your target group. I told you that by spending crores of rupees, media you can do it very easily, but it is not necessary that you will bring a expected result. But through planning, through strategizing, you can do miracles. Then designing media tactics. If you are interacting with press, you need to have a tactics. Because in press, you cannot limit the question. You cannot force the journalist to ask the question of your choice. You should be smart enough to understand this. Then interaction with press. Then press release, always interact with press, interact with anybody in media through press release. Because if you will write, if you will give them anything in writing, that would, there would be less chance of misinterpretation. And review the item. Whatever you have given, whether it is published or some different slant to the story is given. So these are few steps. If you will include these, if you will follow these, you will be able to plan for your institution. You will be able to plan for yourself in an individual capacity. Next slide. Thank you. I hope that this is the most preferred slice which all of you were expecting. So thank you so much. And now the floor is open. If somebody would like to ask the questions, I'm here to answer it. मैं समझता हूँ कि
एग्जैक्ट टाइम पे सर बिल्कुल मिनट टू मिनट आपका स्क्रीन शेयर बन सकती है। एक बार चैट बॉक्स में एक बार देखिए। So any questions from the participant side? From online or offline, any participants? Okay, thank you very much, sir, for your deliberation. And now I request Mr. Bhupesh Kumar Chetri to deliver vote of thanks.
Yes, sir, I'm audible.
Yes.
Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to give vote of thanks. Myself, Bhupesh Kumar Chetri, Department of History, Sotia College, Sotia, Sonitpur, Assam. First of all, on behalf of all participants, I extend my thanks to our esteemed resource person, Professor Atish Parasar, sir, for his valuable, informative, and insightful lecture on communication, media, and management, in which you make us more understand, sir. Secondly, I extend my thanks to our esteemed organizer, Dr. Govind sir, Department of Sanskrit, and Dr. Peboila sir, Department of Social Work of Assam University, that we have organized refresher programs under the MMTC Assam University Center. And at last, I extend my thanks to all participants, those who are offline and online, make this session successful. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhupesh ji. Thank you very much. Now it's a time for our next session. And
All yours.
Before the next session will start, I request Dr. Kaivalya Desai sir to felicitate our both the speaker, Professor Sarvesh Dutt Tripathi sir and Professor Atish Parasar ji.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. I धन्यवाद.
लोग इतने कम समय में बोलने पे दिल्ली से और गया से डायरेक्ट यहाँ पे उपस्थित हो गए. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
आप आपका दर्शन करने आए हैं.
So it's the time for the new session and हम लोग आपस में संवाद करेंगे इस सेशन में. हम सभी अध्यापक लोग हैं और इसमें कुछ पढ़ना पढ़ाना नहीं है, जैसे रिफ्रेशर कोर्स है, पुनश्चर्या है जो हम पहले से जानते हैं, उसको थोड़ा सा बस रिफ्रेश करना है, हमें माइंड उसमें रिफ्रेश होना है. आदि में जैसे हमारी भारतीय परंपरा है मंगल करने की. अज्ञान तिमिरांधस्य ज्ञानांजन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. सर्वप्रथम तो मैं आप सबका बहुत बहुत आभारी हूं कि ये रिफ्रेशर कोर्स जो एक हमारी योजना थी करवाने की, इसको साक्षात ये हो पाया, क्योंकि एमएमटीटीसी की तरफ से गाइडलाइंस है कि जब तक 60 पार्टिसिपेंट्स पूरे नहीं होंगे तब तक यह प्रोग्राम का हम नहीं करवा सकते. और 2 दिन पहले तक ये समस्या बनी हुई थी कि मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ पार्टिसिपेंट्स हमारे पास पूरे नहीं थे, और वह मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ पार्टिसिपेंट्स लास्ट टाइम में ओवर हुए। अभी जो टोटल नंबर ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन है वो 100 से ज्यादा है। तो आप सबका रजिस्ट्रेशन करने के लिए, भाग लेने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जैसा कि हमने रिफ्रेशर कोर्स का हमने जो योजना बनाई थी, इस योजना में ही इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी हमने रखने के प्रयास किया था, जिसमें लैंग्वेज स्टडीज भी हो और सोशल साइंसेस, इन दोनों के ही मेथड्स को लिया जाए। कुछ जो हमारे ट्रेडिशनल वेज हैं और जो अभी मॉडर्न जो थ्योरीज हैं, इन दोनों का ही एक जगह पे समावेश हो, एक जगह पे हम चर्चा कर सकें, दोनों में कंपैरिजन कर सकें और एक बार विचार कर सकें कि हमें क्या चाहिए, हम आगे शोध की परंपरा को हम आगे कैसे बढ़ा सकते हैं। तो सबसे पहले तो मैं कहूंगा कि मैं कंक्लूजन पे आता हूं। नॉर्मली इंट्रोडक्शन से स्टार्ट होता है, लेकिन मैं चाहता हूं कि इस बार सबसे पहले मैं कंक्लूजन पे आऊं। और कंक्लूजन के लिए मैं चश्मा पहनना चाहूंगा क्योंकि ये मेरा लेंस है और मेरी आंखों की जो समस्या है, मेरे जो पावर है, वो मैं अपने लेंस से ही देख सकता हूं। जितने भी और रिसोर्स पर्सन थे, उन सभी को लेंस लगा हुआ है, अलग अलग पावर है, और वह पावर वो अपने लेंस के द्वारा ही उसको सॉल्व कर सकते हैं। इसलिए यदि मैं कैवल्य जी का या आतिश जी का या सर्वेश सर का, अगर मैं उनका, तो मेरी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं हो पाएगी। इसलिए मुझे जो चाहिए, मुझे जो देखना है, मेरा जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है, मेरा जो, मुझे जिसको प्रत्यक्ष करना है, चक्षुरिंद्रिय से मुझे जिसका प्रत्यक्ष करना है, उसके लिए मुझे मेरे लेंस की आवश्यकता है। और मैं यदि दूसरे के लेंस से देखूंगा तो वो विजन कभी क्लियर नहीं होगा, इसलिए चश्मे की आवश्यकता है। बहरहाल रिसर्च की बात करते हैं। एक्चुअली हम सोच रहे थे कि हम 2 विषयों को लेकर के चर्चा करें, 2 सेशन में चर्चा करने की योजना थी, लेकिन बहुत अच्छा हुआ कि और दूसरे रिसोर्स पर्सन हमें उपलब्ध हुए, तो एक ही सेशन में कोशिश करेंगे हम कि दोनों बातों को समावेश कर सकें। आरंभ में जैसे प्रोफेसर तपोधीर भट्टाचार्य जी ने क्लासिकल लैंग्वेजेस को लेकर के आरंभ किया था, और उससे पहले भी कई सारे अच्छे अच्छे वक्ता रहे। तो कल भी डॉक्टर कैवल्य जी जैसे व्हाट इज रिसर्च, उनको जो डिफाइन किया, वापस उसी क्वेश्चन पे आते हैं, क्योंकि जब तक रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी पे कितने भी सेशन हो, कितनी भी क्लासेस हो, सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन वही आएगा, पुनः रिसर्च क्या है। तो संवाद हो हमारे बीच में। रिसर्च को कोई आप में से कोई डिफाइन करना चाहेगा? रिसर्च, या उसको और थोड़ा सरल बनाते हैं, रिसर्च को डिफाइन भी करने की जरूरत नहीं है। हम सभी भारत के अलग अलग क्षेत्रों से, संपूर्ण देश से हम सब प्रतिभागी यहाँ पे उपलब्ध हैं। आप अपने अपने क्षेत्रीय भाषा में, या रिसर्च को हम और क्या शब्द दे सकते हैं, रिसर्च शब्द को क्या हम अपनी भाषा में क्या बोल सकते हैं, जैसे शोध है, अनुसंधान है इत्यादि, और क्या क्या शब्द रिसर्च के लिए हो सकता है?
স্যার ইন বেঙ্গলি বাংলাতে আমরা বলি গবেষণা।
गवेषणा,
यस सर।
आप चैट बॉक्स में डाल सकते हैं। गवेषणा है, शोध है, यहां से कुछ अनुसंधान, तथ्य संग्रह, अन्वेषण इत्यादि, बहुत सारे शोध के लिए, मतलब रिसर्च के लिए यदि हम शब्द देखें तो हमें बहुत सारे शब्द मिलते हैं। क्या तथ्य संधान, गवेषणा, अन्वेषण, इनका शाब्दिक अर्थ एक है? इनका यदि हम शाब्दिक अर्थ देखें तो इनके शाब्दिक अर्थ में भी कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा थोड़ा सा अंतर है, और इन सभी तरह की स्टडी के लिए हम एक शब्द प्रयोग करते हैं, जो रिसर्च। लेकिन जब हम अपनी प्रांतीय भाषाओं के उसमें हम देखें, जो हमारी क्षेत्रीय भाषाएं हैं, उनमें इतने सारे शब्द हैं, और हमारी परंपरा में शोध के लिए हमें इतने सारे शब्द मिलते हैं, और उन सभी शब्दों का यदि हम सही मायने में अर्थ देखें तो कहीं ना कहीं वो अर्थ व्यापक रूप से एक सा है, लेकिन उसमें कुछ ना कुछ परिवर्तन है, कुछ ना कुछ उसमें डिफरेंसेस हैं। मेरे विचार से हम यदि देखें तो तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद में एक शब्द आया है तपः। जब वरुण और भृगु के बीच में आपस में संवाद होता है और वह पूछने जाते हैं कि ब्रह्म कौन है, ब्रह्म की जिज्ञासा होती है, जो रिसर्च का सबसे बेसिक चीज है कि आपकी जिज्ञासा हो, हमारा क्वेश्चन हो। और वो क्वेश्चन जब पूछते हैं कि वह ब्रह्म कौन है, उस ब्रह्म के बारे में जानने का प्रयत्न करते हैं कि वह ब्रह्म कौन है, और उसका आंसर में जब उनके पिता बताते हैं कि वो ब्रह्म कौन है और उसके बाद उसको जानने के लिए क्या करना है, तपः तप्यत, तपः तप्यध्वम, तप करो। और वो तप क्या है, वो तप ही रिसर्च है। वह तप, वहां पे वह जो तप शब्द है, तप का शब्द का अर्थ ये अर्थ नहीं है कि जाकर के पर्वत पे और कहीं जाकर के कुछ क्रिया करना, बल्कि तप शब्द का अर्थ रिसर्च करना, अनुसंधान करना, किस प्रकार से उस ज्ञान तक पहुंचना जो हमारा उद्देश्य है, उस ब्रह्म तत्व को जानना। और उसको एक्सप्लेन करते हुए वही बताते हैं वहां पे, जब ब्रह्म तत्व के बारे में कि वह ब्रह्म कौन है, तो वो यतो वा इमानि भूतानि जायन्ते येन जातानि जीवन्ति यम प्रयन्ति अभिशम विशन्ति तद विजिज्ञासस्व, उसको जानो, तद विजिज्ञासस्व। यहाँ पे बहुत प्रतिभागी संस्कृत के हैं, लेकिन संस्कृतेतर, संस्कृत से भिन्न भी बहुत सारे प्रतिभागी हैं। तो यह मंत्र संस्कृत के सभी प्रतिभागियों को तो मालूम होगा, लेकिन जो इससे अवगत नहीं है उनको मैं बहुत सरल ढंग से बताना चाहूंगा कि यतो वा इमानि भूतानि जायन्ते, अर्थात जिससे सभी भूतों की उत्पत्ति हुई है, जितने भी ये पंचभूत हैं, पृथ्वी जल तेज वायु आकाश आदि जितने भी भूत हैं, इससे इन सभी की जिससे उत्पत्ति हुई है, ये न जातानि जीवंती, और जो उत्पन्न हुए हैं वह जिसकी वजह से जीवित रहते हैं, वो उनकी सत्ता जिसकी वजह से होती है, और जिसमें वो लय को प्राप्त करते हैं, जिसमें उनकी समाप्ति होती है, अर्थात उत्पत्ति, स्थिति और लय। यह तीनों स्थिति का मूल जो है, जिससे द्वारा यह उत्पत्ति भी होती है, स्थिति भी होती है और लय भी होता है, यही क्या है, वही ब्रह्म है। यह आंसर दिया उन्होंने, लेकिन इस आंसर से जो है वो भृगु वो संतुष्ट नहीं हुए। वो आंसर सुनकर के संतोष नहीं होगा, उसको आत्मसार करना है। हमने आंसर सुन लिया और सुन करके हम कहें कि हमें पता चल गया कि यह ब्रह्म है, इतना सरल तो नहीं है। इतना सरल होता तो इतने सारे उपनिषदों में अलग अलग तरीके से, अलग अलग प्रकार से उसकी व्याख्या की आवश्यकता नहीं पड़ती। उसको आत्मसार करने के लिए बताया, और आत्मसार करने का, उसको समझने का जो उपाय बताया गया, वह उपाय एक ही था, तप, तपः तप्यतः तद विजिज्ञासस्व, उसको जानना है। और उसकी जानकारी, जो हमारी जिज्ञासा है, जिज्ञासा को शांत करने का एकमात्र उपाय है तप करना, और वो तप साक्षात शोध है। और यदि उपनिषद ग्रंथ में देखें तो वहां पे मुझे लगता है, ये मेरा मत है, इसके अतिरिक्त दूसरे शब्द भी हो सकते हैं, लेकिन तप शब्द बहुत अच्छा एक शब्द है रिसर्च के लिए, कि तप रिसर्च। अब वापस थोड़ा हम आधुनिक संदर्भ में आते हैं कि रिसर्च की हमें बहुत आवश्यकता है। प्राचीन काल से रिसर्च की परंपरा रही है, अभी है। अलग अलग तरीके के रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट भारत सरकार के द्वारा दिए जाते हैं। अभी जो एनईपी के तहत भी रिसर्च का बहुत बड़ा महत्व दिया गया है कि हमें रिसर्च करना है। रिसर्च किस प्रकार का हो, चाहे वह भारतीय नॉलेज सिस्टम से हो और उसके प्रवाह से हो, लेकिन एक समस्या है कि जितनी भी फंडिंग एजेंसी जो रिसर्च करवाना चाहती है, जो उसके लिए पैसे देती है कि आपको यह काम के लिए, रिसर्च करने के लिए ये हम प्रोजेक्ट को पैसा देते हैं, उनका एक, जो आपको पैसे दे रहा है वो आपसे बदले में कुछ चाहता है। उस दिन हमारे वीसी सर से किसी ने सवाल भी पूछा था, जब विकसित भारत थ्रू रूरल डेवलपमेंट के ऊपर जब व्याख्यान चल रहा था सर का, तो उस समय एक क्वेश्चन भी पूछा गया था कि शोध के क्या क्या आयाम हो सकते हैं, शोध से और क्या क्या लाभ हो सकता है। तो सर ने एक बड़ा एग्जाम्पल दिया कि कुछ दिन पहले जब वो विदेश गए हुए थे, शायद वियतनाम के किसी विश्वविद्यालय में, और वहां की जब डायरेक्टर से इस विषय में जब बात हो रही थी वीसी सर की, तो वहां के डायरेक्टर ने आंसर दिया कि शोध हम उनको करने दे, क्योंकि उस यूनिवर्सिटी को सर ने जैसा बताया कि $300 मिलियन का एक साल का उनका रेवेन्यू जनरेट हुआ था, किससे? रिसर्च से। तो रिसर्च कहीं ना कहीं जब पैसे जनरेशन की एक वो बन जाए कि आपको कैसे फंड लेके आना है, आपका रिसर्च ओरिएंटेशन सिर्फ उसी पे होना चाहिए। अगर हमारा प्रयोजन ही ये हो तो वो रिसर्च सिर्फ कंपनी बेस्ड कि वो कंपनी से कैसे उनको कंसल्टेंसी के द्वारा या और किसी दूसरे माध्यम से उनको फंड जनरेट करना है। हमारे यहाँ शोध की ये परंपरा बिल्कुल नहीं रही है कि हमें सिर्फ फंड लेके आना है, फंड के लिए शोध करना है, ऐसा नहीं है। फंड के लिए शोध करना होता तो सारे लैंग्वेज और ह्यूमैनिटीज वाले कहाँ कितने फंड लेके आएंगे। लेकिन सरकार की कहीं ना कहीं यह भी योजना होती है कि अगर वो रिसर्च करवा रहे हैं तो उस रिसर्च का उनको आउटपुट मिले, जितना वो खर्चा कर रहे हैं उसका वो आउटपुट मिले। उस दिन कैवेली जी भी बता रहे थे कि फंड का जितना मैक्सिमम हिस्सा है 80-90% जो फंडिंग है वो सारे सारे साइंस की तरफ होती है, ह्यूमैनिटीज और लैंग्वेजेस के लिए फंडिंग बहुत कम है। सही भी है, जैसे लेकिन ये भी है कि साइंस को फंडिंग की बहुत ज्यादा आवश्यकता होती है। लैंग्वेजेस में 4-5 लाख के फंडिंग में आप कुछ अच्छा काम कर सकते हैं, साइंस में उतने की एक मशीन भी, इक्विपमेंट्स भी नहीं आएगा। हमारे इससे पहले के जो वाइस चांसलर सर थे प्रोफेसर सोमनाथ दास गुप्ता जी, उन्होंने एक प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट किया था जिसका जो फंड वैल्यू थी वो लगभग 700 करोड़ रुपीस की थी। 700 करोड़ का एक प्रोजेक्ट। अब वो पेट्रोलियम से संबंधित था कि समुद्र में पेट्रोलियम के ऐसे कुछ था। तो अब उसमें उनको उतने लोग भी चाहिए, वैसे इक्विपमेंट्स भी चाहिए, तो वो 2-3-4 करोड़ का काम ही नहीं था। और वो यहाँ से लेकर के अरब और कहाँ कहाँ संपूर्ण विश्व का उनका वो काम था। तो 700 करोड़ का एक व्यक्ति का, जो हमारे इससे पहले जो हमारे वाइस चांसलर थे, तो उनको फंड की वैसी ज्यादा आवश्यकता होती है। फंड की हमें भी आवश्यकता है, हमें भी वो हो, लेकिन इसका आउटपुट कहाँ लेके आ रहा है? जो भी गवर्नमेंट या कोई भी इंस्टीट्यूशन जो फंड हमें देती है उसका उनको आउटपुट चाहिए। बिना आउटपुट के कोई भी आपको कुछ नहीं देगा। या तो हम अपनी स्वेच्छा से कुछ काम करें, स्वेच्छा से कुछ रिसर्च का काम करें, वो हम अपनी स्वेच्छा कर सकते हैं। लेकिन गवर्नमेंट या कोई भी फंडिंग एजेंसी यदि हमें कुछ हमसे कुछ करवाना चाहती है तो उसका आउटपुट वो लेना चाहती है। लेकिन मुझे जो स्वयं उसमें लगता है कि कुछ आउटपुट गवर्नमेंट के पास मिलता है, फिर भी गवर्नमेंट उसको, गवर्नमेंट मतलब अभी की गवर्नमेंट नहीं, ये हमेशा से जो चला आ रहा है, उसको कहीं ना कहीं उस तरीके से इंप्लीमेंट नहीं करती। क्योंकि जब कोई भी रिसर्चर एक रिसर्च करके एक आउटपुट देता है कि ये ऐसे ऐसे स्कोप्स हैं, इनको इस तरीके से सुधारा जा सकता है। आपने देखा होगा, आप सभी ने जब प्रोजेक्ट के लिए अप्लाई करते हैं, माइनर प्रोजेक्ट हो, मेजर प्रोजेक्ट हो, वो चाहे आईसीएसएसआर का हो, चाहे वो आईसीपीआर का हो, आईसीएचआर का हो, या यूजीसी का हो, या अभी आईकेएस डिवीजन का है, इनमें से कहीं भी आप यदि अप्लाई करें तो उसके अंदर कई सारे पॉइंट्स रहते हैं। जैसे इंट्रोडक्शन है, फिर आपके ऑब्जेक्टिव्स है, कई सारे उसमें पॉइंट्स दिए हैं। उसमें एक चीज होती है कि ये पॉलिसी मेकिंग में कैसे हेल्प कर सकता है, कि जो हमारे जो गवर्नमेंट की जो पॉलिसीज बनती है उन पॉलिसीज में ये रिसर्च कैसे उनके लिए हेल्पफुल है। लेकिन जितनी भी पॉलिसी बनती है, मुझे नहीं लगता है उसमें कहीं उस रिसर्च का वो जिक्र होता है कि आईसीएसआर के द्वारा एक रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट एंड फाइंडिंग्स थी और इन फाइंडिंग्स के आधार पे हमने पॉलिसी में इस तरह के हम चेंज कर रहे हैं। जब भी पॉलिसी तैयार होती है उस रिसर्च का कहीं कोई जिक्र नहीं होता है, जो शायद होना चाहिए। और ऐसी चीजें अगर इनको हम करवाते हैं तो उससे अच्छे शोध, उसकी क्वालिटी अच्छी हो, उसको भी बढ़ावा मिलेगा। तो हमारी जो भारत की बहुत सारी क्लासिकल लैंग्वेजेस हैं, जिसको शास्त्रीय भाषा भी बोला जाता है, क्लासिकल लैंग्वेजेस हैं। और गवर्नमेंट ने जो कमिटी बनाई थी क्लासिकल लैंग्वेजेस की, उसके लिए कुछ नियमों का निर्धारण किया था कि ये शर्तें अगर पूरी होती है तो वह क्लासिकल लैंग्वेज कहलाएंगी, जिसमें से एक प्राचीनता थी कि कितने कम से कम प्राचीन होनी चाहिए, 1500 साल के आसपास कम से कम प्राचीन हो, 1000 साल 1500 साल प्राचीन होनी चाहिए भाषा। उसके लिखित एविडेंसेस होने चाहिए, वो भाषा स्वतंत्र होनी चाहिए, एकाध उसके लाइन या किसी बोला गया नहीं, वो स्वतंत्र उसका प्रमाण होना चाहिए, स्वतंत्र उसका साहित्य हो या कुछ प्राप्त हो, तभी उसको एज अ क्लासिकल लैंग्वेजेस का दर्जा दे सकते हैं। तमिल को दिया गया, संस्कृत को दिया गया, और भी कई सारी भारतीय भाषाएं हैं। लेकिन यह जो क्रम है कि जिस क्रम से वो दिया गया, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो क्रम से, उसी क्रम से वो प्राचीन है। क्योंकि जैसे अभी लास्ट ईयर या 1.5 साल पहले ही 5 भाषाओं को और क्लासिकल लैंग्वेजेस के दायरे में उनको रखा गया, और वो 5 लैंग्वेजेस में पाली और प्राकृत भी है, जिसमें जो 5 लैंग्वेज थी उसमें असमिया है, बंगाली है, असमिया, बंगाली, मराठी, पाली और प्राकृत। इन 5 भाषाओं को एज अ क्लासिकल लैंग्वेज बनाया गया, जिसमें पाली प्राकृत निसंदेह रूप से बंगाली से, असमी से, मराठी से काफी प्राचीन है। और उसके बाद की भी कई सारी भाषाएं ऑलरेडी उसके अंतर्गत आ चुकी है। लेकिन हम वैश्विक स्तर पर यदि देखें, जिसको क्लासिकल लैंग्वेजेस के रूप में माना जाता है, उसमें जैसे संस्कृत तो निसंदेह रूप से है ही, जिस संस्कृत में हमें एंशिएंट टेक्स्ट मिलते हैं, आर्यन लैंग्वेजेस में जो वेद है और जो हमारे जो भारतीय दर्शन शास्त्र हैं इत्यादि सब कुछ जो है हमें वो संस्कृत में मिलता है। इसके अतिरिक्त हम देखें तो लैटिन भी बहुत प्राचीन भाषा है, और क्लासिकल लैंग्वेज में वैश्विक रूप से उसको माना गया है लैटिन को, जो रोमन सभ्यता का अंश है। और इसी भाषा से, मतलब लैटिन मूल है, जिसमें फ्रेंच, इटालियन, पोर्तुगीज ये सारी भाषाएं आती है। और इसमें जो वेस्टर्न जो लॉ है, वहां के जो साइंस और मेडिसिन, इनसे रिलेटेड जो लिटरेचर है वो हमें लैटिन भाषा में प्राप्त, मतलब लैटिन से जुड़े हुए भाषाओं में प्राप्त होते हैं। लैटिन में बहुत अभी जैसा लिटरेचर प्राप्त नहीं है, स्पोकन लैंग्वेज के रूप में लैटिन बची नहीं है। लेकिन जो और दूसरी लैंग्वेज है, जैसे फ्रेंच है, इटालियन है, पोर्तुगीज है, ये सारी लैंग्वेज, इन सब पे लैटिन का ही असर है। और इन सारी चीजों में हमें लॉ, साइंस और मेडिसिन की के लिटरेचर हमें ज्यादा मिलते हैं। फिर ग्रीक आती है लैंग्वेजेस में, और उस ग्रीक में हमें इंग्लिश जो है वो बहुत सारे वर्ड्स उसमें ग्रीक से लिए गए। और वेस्टर्न फिलोसफी, लिटरेचर और हिस्ट्री का जो ज्यादातर अंश है वह कहीं ना कहीं वो ग्रीक से ज्यादा प्रभावित हमें मिलता है। फिर तमिल है, हिब्रू है, अरबिक है, चाइनीज है। अरबिक में कुरान की रचना हुई, हिब्रू में जो है वो जोइस के द्वारा, जोइस की जो लैंग्वेज रही है वो हिब्रू रही है, उसमें बाइबल है। चाइनीज उनका एक अलग ट्रेडिशन, कल्चर वो रहा है, वो भी बहुत प्राचीन भाषा के रूप में, मतलब ये विश्व की जो कुछ क्लासिकल लैंग्वेज है, शास्त्रीय भाषाएं हैं, उनमें इनकी परिगणना की जाती है। हमारी जो भारतीय संविधान के जो भाषा के लिए जो अनुच्छेद है, जो 8th शेड्यूल ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है, उसमें अभी 22 लैंग्वेजेस को इंक्लूड किया गया है। और इसके अतिरिक्त जो 2003 में एक कमेटी बनी थी जो और एडिट करना चाहते थे, कुछ भाषाएं हैं जिसमें 38 लैंग्वेजेस का जिक्र है, और उसको भारतीय संविधान में 8th शेड्यूल में लैंग्वेजेस में उसको ऐड करने की एक कमेटी बनी हुई है। उसके ऊपर वो चर्चाएं चल रही है। और इसके अतिरिक्त क्लासिकल लैंग्वेजेस के लिए भी और भी कई सारी भाषाओं की सूची उनके पास आई है, जिसके ऊपर वो एग्जामिन करेंगे कि कौन कितनी क्लासिकल उसमें उसको रखा जा सकता है कि नहीं, उसके ऊपर भी विचार चल रहा है। बहरहाल 22 लैंग्वेजेस के अतिरिक्त 38 और ऐसी भारतीय भाषाएं हैं, जिसमें अंगिका है, भोजपुरी है, लद्दाखी है, सिक्किमिस है, बुंदेली है, छत्तीसगढ़ी, धकती। इंग्लिश भी अभी तक 8 शेड्यूल लैंग्वेजेस में नहीं है, उसको भी 8 शेड्यूल लैंग्वेजेस में इंक्लूड करने का ये प्रस्ताव है। गुज्जारी है, हो है, फिर इत्यादि लैंग्वेजेस हैं जिनको इंक्लूड वो करना चाहते हैं। आज के प्रथम वक्ता जो प्रोफेसर राघवेंद्र मिश्रा जी, उन्होंने काफी विस्तृत रूप से वैदिक लिटरेचर में जो भी संहिता, ब्राह्मण, आरण्यक, उपनिषद, इन सभी लिटरेचर के बारे में काफी वर्णन कर दिया था। उसको दोबारा से रिपीट करने की जरूरत नहीं है। और भी कई सारे, चाहे फिलोसॉफिकल टेक्स्ट और इन सब का भी वर्णन किया था उन्होंने, काफी विस्तृत रूप से वहां पे बताया उन्होंने। लेकिन हमारे यहाँ जो अनुसंधान की जो परंपरा रही से हुआ, लेकिन वो किस तरह का, जैसे ब्रह्म विषय जहां भी बताया तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद का एक वो आया कि ब्रह्म कौन है, जहां उसका आंसर मिला यतो वा इमानि भूतानि जायन्ते इत्यादि इत्यादि। कौन है, तो कौन है मतलब एक तो व्हाट, हु इज ब्रह्म, व्हाट इज ब्रह्म। उसी प्रकार से फिलोसॉफिकल उसमें देखेंगे तो ब्रह्म के बारे में और इन के बारे में है। अनुबंध चतुष्टय के बारे में ऑलरेडी बता चुके थे, तो दोबारा भी उसको रिपीट करने की जरूरत नहीं है। ऐसी शब्द के लिए उस दिन प्रोफेसर सत्यनारायण चक्रवर्ती सर थे, उस समय भी ये बात आई थी कि शब्द, वह शब्द क्या है, व्हाट इज वर्ड, शब्द से लक्षणम किम, वह शब्द क्या है, उसके बारे में चर्चा मिलती है। पदम किम, वो पद क्या है, शक्तम पदम या सुप्तिंगंतम पदम। दो प्रकार के, दो स्कूल्स अलग अलग हैं, दो धाराएं अलग अलग है, दो विचारधारा बिल्कुल अलग अलग है। एक का मानना है सुप्तिंगंतम पदम, सुबंतम तिगंतम च पद संयम, जिसमें सुबंत और तिगंत होगा वही पद कहलाएगा, या तो सुबंत हो या तो वह तिगंत हो, अर्थात वह संपूर्ण शब्द होना चाहिए। और दूसरी तरफ है जो कहता है कि शक्तम पदम, जिसमें शक्ति है वह पद है। अब यहां पर जैसे रामः एक शब्द हुआ, हम प्रयोग कर लेते हैं रामः एक पद है। व्याकरण के अनुसार, पाणिनियन व्याकरण के अनुसार वह रामः एक पद है, क्योंकि वहां पे सुबंत है। सुप जो संस्कृत के नहीं है यहाँ पर, वो क्लियर करता हूं, तो सुबंत अर्थात जहां शब्द रूप और धातु रूप सबने सुना होगा, तो जहां शब्द रूप होता है वह सुबंत है और जहां धातु रूप है वह तिङंत होता है। तो या तो सुबंत होना चाहिए या तो वह तिङंत होना चाहिए, तब वो पद पद कहलाएगा। न्याय दर्शन, जो न्याय फिलॉसफी है, न्याय फिलॉसफी का मत है, यहाँ कुछ न्यायिक